Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. In this session, we will discuss about another new command for Qshell, which is tail command. Now, if you have already covered the previous session, then it would be very easy for you to understand this session. Why? Because tail command is just opposite to the head command. Okay, because in tail command we are like if you are using the tail command, then we are supposed to fetch the bottom n number of records. Okay, so whenever you want to fetch bottom n number of records, then in that case you can use the tail command. That's why I'm saying, because when we discuss about the head command, in head command we were used to fetch the top n number of records, but in case of tail command we are fetching the top n num top sorry bottom n number of records. Okay, so that's why whenever you are learning such type of command which is working oppositely to each other, then always take a note of the difference, because these difference is also a interview question. In interview, someone may ask you like what is the difference between the head command and tail command. Okay, so you should know that yes, head command is used to fetch the top n number of records, whereas tail command is used to fetch the bottom n number of records. Clear? Fine. Now what we will do, we will discuss another example. We will, like, firstly I'll show you the requirement. We will discuss, because some of you are maybe directly referring this session, so just for them I will repeat the requirement, like what is the requirement, why we use tail command, and how to use tail command. Once everything is clear, then we will perform some practical example using the Qshell commands itself. And after discussing all the practical scenarios, we will I'll show you the one CL program where I have used that command. Okay, so through CL program we will perform the data fetching operation using tail command. Clear? So fine, let's start with the worklink command to understand the requirement. Now in this worklink command, you can see we are once you hit the work lnk command, it will open this work with object link. So work with object link is a screen through which you can directly open this by default directory. So in my case, the by default directory is /home/Sharmit. In your case, it would be different. Okay, fine. Now you can see in directory we have /home/Sharmit, where Sharmit is my username. So if your username is ABC, so in that case your default directory would be /home/ABC. Clear? Now on this location we have one file which we are going to use for the demo purpose. So let me show you that file. So this is my file. Here you can see we have stored some sample records from testing row 1 to testing row 25. Okay, if I talk about the head command first, then if you are using the command head in order to fetch top 7 record, then it will fetch only the top 7 record from here. Head means top 7 records, so it will fetch these records. But if you are using tail command with this file data, then it would return these records. Let's say if I want to fetch top 5 record, bottom 5 records, so it will fetch these records only. Okay, so that's why it is clear, like once you know the difference between the head and tail command. Okay, so whenever in a project or in a task there is a need to fetch the bottom n number of records, then in that case you can utilize the tail command. I think now we are good with the requirement, so I'm just gonna copy this path, because this path we are going to use for the demo purpose. Okay, so I'm copying it. Now we are good to start the practical thing. So for that I'll simply write here qsh. After writing qsh, you can simply hit enter and it will open this qshell command entry screen. Now on this qshell command entry screen, you can let me show you the head command first. So head space, and let's say I want to fetch top 5 records, so I can simply put n value. You can find the syntax like this, n, so instead of n you can write it as 5 and then the path of the file /home/sharmit abc.txt. So once you hit enter, it will return 5 records, top 5 records from the file. Okay, similarly if you replace this head with tail command, then in that case it will return the bottom 5 records. So if I hit enter, you can see it is returning the bottom 5 records from the file. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Clear? So now if you want, let's say if I want to fetch 7 records, I can simply change this value with 7 and it will return that bottom 7 records. Okay, fine. Now there might be few questions from you guys, so I'm gonna cover all these questions here. I'm assuming that these are the questions from your end. The first question: what will happen if we are not providing the n number value? So in that case, if you are using tail command and if you are not providing the n number value like this, then in that case by default it returns the bottom 10 records from the file. So these are the bottom 10 records from the file. Same thing we also discussed when we discussed the head command, because there if you are not providing the n number value, then in that case there it was returning the top 10 records, and in case of tail it is returning bottom 10 records. Clear? Now another question would be from you guys, like what will happen if we try to pass the value which is not even correct? Let's say in our file we know that we have only 25 records, so instead of 25, let's say if I'm trying to fetch 100 records, so what it will do? Simply it will return all the records. Why? Because as per the limit we should include all these data, and remaining data is not there in the file, so we can skip it. Okay, so whatever the data is present in the file, it will return accordingly. Now next question could be like, what will happen if I change this tail letters into capital letters? Will it affect anything? No, it will not affect. So it is not a case sensitive command. So yeah, here if you want to go with capital tail, it's fine. If you want to go with small tail, it's fine. If you want to go with mixed characters, then it is also fine. Let's say if I write like this, still it would work because it is not affecting and it is not case sensitive. Clear? So I think now we have idea about the tail command, like how we can use tail command. So it's time to see how we can utilize the same command through CL program. So for that I have already created one program. I'll walk you through that program. So this is the program run QSH, which I'm gonna use for the demo purpose. Here you can see this program is to use the tail command. So for executing any command we need one variable, so I'm declaring one variable with the help of DCL command. Simply write DCL take F4, provide variable type as character, storage as auto, length as 256. After that you can simply write chg where, provide your variable name, value means command. So here I'm writing tail -3 abc.txt. So this is the actual command which I'm going to use, but here I'm not providing path. Why? Because if I'm not providing path, then it will automatically look at my default directory. So as I discussed about default directory in worklink command, so it will look at /home/Sharmit, or if your username is abc, then it will look at /home/abc. Okay, so if someone is not providing path, then it will by defaultly look at the home directory location, default directory location. Okay, but if you have provided path, then it will look only for that particular path. But I always recommend you to guys to use the path, because it's a better habit. Because if you are writing the path, complete part of the path of the file, then it would be easy for other developers to understand, okay, so this is the file which is coming from that particular location. Clear? So simply put your command and then simply hit enter, and then we are good to start the command. So to start the command, write strqsh take F4, provide your variable name, and then simply hit enter. So what it will do, it will start your command. Then we are good to compile the program and see the output. So I'm compiling it and calling it. So you can see it is returning the bottom 3 records from the file, because we passed the n number as 3, and that's why it is returning the bottom 3 records from the file. Okay, so I think now it is clear to everything that how we can utilize the tail command in order to fetch the bottom n number of records. If you are not providing the n value, let's say if I am not providing this value, then in that case it will return the by default 10 records from the bottom. If you are using tail, it will return 10 bottom records. If you are writing a head command, then it will return top 10 records. So you can see it is returning top 10, top bottom 10 records. Clear? So yeah, that's all for today. I hope it is clear to all of you. In the next session we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.